Welcome to the Think Loud Crew podcast.
Travis is taking over today.
Were you contemplating on what you were going to say next?
This is two moms and a daddy.
The way you looked at me. You're like, you like that? I love that.
Getting real.
Two moms and a daddy.
With our daily WTF.
Okay, before we jump in this, Trav Daddy, can you please let us know where did Trav Daddy come from?
I feel like I made that up, but to be honest...
No, but I feel like you said it the last time we were on.
Yeah. No, people really do call me that. I don't know why.
Who was it first?
I don't know, but...
He's like my mom.
Unconnected friend group, my mom.
That's awkward.
No, not really.
It's a God-given name. I don't know. Unconnected friend groups call me that, but we don't have to.
Unconnected friend groups. Ooh, that's a whole...
Unconnected
Like
friend groups.
people call me Trav Daddy, and then I'll be around other people that have no idea who that group is, and they're like, Trav Daddy. I'm like, how did you
know me?
How did you know?
So people are talking about you, Trav.
Yeah.
They
I don't
know
know.
you, Travis.
They're like, what's going on? What's
Your
the
name
tea?
is hot. Hot on the street.
What are your all nicknames?
My nickname is Shay Shay, but that's like a family name that like all my like little cousins call me Shay Shay, and like if you really know me, that's what or Shay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But nobody really calls me that unless it's like my aunts or like it's only on one
The
side of
inner
the family
circle.
too. Yeah, the inner circle.
Okay. What about you, Ara?
I don't feel like I was ever really had a nickname. I just had a confusing name
You do have a confusing name.
that like
People were like,
what? I don't really know how to nickname you because like you have names that I can choose from in a sense.
Does R stand for something?
So my name is R. Kyle Lynn. Kyle Lynn is my middle name. Kyle is my dad's middle name. Lynn is my mom's middle name. So when they saw me, they were like, "That's R. Kyle Lynn." So
Okay.
yeah. I'm like, wow, thanks guys. And then I went through this whole thing where I like had like a mental breakdown from like work and like all this stuff. I was just really burnt out. This is my quarter life crisis. My best friend died. It was like a lot. And I was going through this whole like rebirthing of self, like who am I?
Yeah.
Like who do I want to be in this world? Like that's when I like started using my first name.
and introducing yourself as R.
Yeah, and that was part of like it was like a real weird cathartic moment. Like my sister Cheyenne fought me on it really hard. She's like, "Bitch, your name is Kyle."
It's crazy.
But I'm like, girl, you have a whole first name that like
You don't use.
you don't use, and I'm so interested to see if she ever has a phase of life when it's like, "Hi, I'm Kristen
Kristen.
Davis."
You know what's crazy
know?
to me is how different you and Cheyenne are.
Yeah, very.
Being like so close in age and sisters,
Very.
you think there'd be more similarities.
Yeah, they're very.
Are you like your brother?
Not really, but we're all very like. I have another older brother, and we're all creatives.
Okay.
All
There's no overlap.
Yeah, we're just all creatives, but I wouldn't say we're exactly alike. No, I think I'm
Yeah, we're
more
different.
outspoken, or maybe not.
I would say you're definitely more outspoken.
I'm more. You know what?
More vocal.
More vocal. My
Yes.
brother's very quiet. When you meet him, he's not gonna be like the talker.
He's not
No.
going to express his emotions.
But like,
No,
if he
but
says
if-
something to you, you're gonna be like,
You're gonna be like.
Oh, he's a smarty?
He went to Princeton. He
Oh,
graduated
yeah, he's a
from
musician,
Poly.
right?
Yeah,
very intelligent.
he's so intelligent. So
Yeah.
like you can't.
Get on his level?
No, get on it.
He's just smarter than all of us.
he's just on a different. He's on his own wavelength.
He really is.
You know what? Do you think that feels isolating for him?
I think so. Because
Yeah.
sometimes he's a very, like, if you ever see him at, like, a family function or even if you see him out, like,
Yeah.
he's just very to himself and just very quiet.
He's like, you all don't get me.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. But if you get on his bad side, he will correct you like there's no tomorrow. And you're like, oh, shit, I did something wrong. I am wrong.
I honestly feel like it would be hard to be really brilliant because you probably just see stupidity around you nonstop.
And I feel like that's what he does. Like, he's that fly on the wall, like, wow, y'all are just, like, what are you even talking
Everyone's an
about?
idiot.
Small talk is not fun.
Yeah.
What?
It's like small talk. It's not fun.
You don't like small talk.
It's funny to me.
I don't like small talk much either.
But if you want to like go somewhere way left field or deep or like, I'm like, let's go there.
Okay, honestly, here's a big reason. I don't know what these questions are, but here's a big reason why I really wanted to get into podcasting.
Okay.
Is the conversations are not small talk. They're interesting.
Yeah.
And that's all I care. The only conversations I care about having are like interesting ones, whether they're like funny, intellectual, emotional, it doesn't matter. But like, I don't want to small talk. And
so what is
podcasting does that.
something that you think is interesting? Like, what is something like if someone were to come up to you and be like, what's anything, what is...
What will spark your...
what's like...
I love
ooh.
hearing about weird things. Like current events, if there are current events going on and weird, I love science. So if there's like some weird thing going on, anything that's like, oh my God, no way.
How they do that?
Tell me about it.
Tell me about it.
Where you want to actually know more. Like,
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah.
Like here's the thing, I have a dog.
What kind of dog?
I was going
it's
to
a
say,
Labrador.
who is this dog? We've
Oh,
never...
you have a Labrador?
Yeah, it's my girlfriend's dog. But
Okay. Oh,
I say it's
girlfriend.
my dog. Dropped it.
Dropped it. You got a girlfriend. He is taking y'all.
Exclusive info.
They share a dog that he claims.
Yeah. And I can't tell you the amount of conversations I have. And
With
you
the
guys,
dog?
You guys probably know this from having kids. I get into so many conversations that I don't care about people who come up and want to tell me about their dog. I'm like, I couldn't care less about
You're like,
your
I don't even
golden
care.
retriever. I don't know. That
They're
sounds
like, I'm literally
mean.
taking my dog to pee. Like
I don't even want to hear. Don't come to me. That is hilarious.
technically my
so people will come
girlfriend's
up
dog
to you and have
Dog
dog conversations.
They'll talk at me about their dog. It's like I'm not talking back.
Do you just go mm-hmm? Do you just nod your head? It's one of those moments.
Yeah.
where does this happen? Are we like at the dog park?
I take the dog into public a lot. Like to.
That is such a funny way of saying that.
Talk out in public a lot.
Yeah, but here's something I'm actually trying to change. I really am working on this in 2024. But the same way I feel in those conversations, the way that I typically try to get out of them is by being really boring or acting bored and hoping that they will get the clue that I'm bored.
That you don't want to talk.
I don't want to talk about this. Not that I don't want to talk. I love talking. I love talking to strangers, but I don't want to hear about your golden retriever and the food that it likes to eat because it has digestive issues. Like, that's not...
Do they ask you if your dog has digestive?
No, they talk at me.
Okay.
They talk at
And
me.
so, what?
I don't want you to like become this like stoic person towards people in
Okay.
these moments.
No, I don't either.
Because I've been that person where it's like I really don't care, but I'll sit here and nod and I want to
Yeah.
be polite, and people
Yeah.
are like, "You're so deadpan," and I'm like, I'm full of
Random
life.
people?
Random people, or like old coworkers. They used to be like, "You're so deadpan at times." Like
Okay,
you're so
but is that really
stoic.
on you, or should they say, "Hey, I can tell you're not interested in this.
Interested in this
I'm
conversation.
going to
I had
stop."
to learn how to say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this, and I love how enthusiastic
Yeah.
you are about Rover over here,
Not Rover.
but I gotta go." Or like,
yeah.
I'm here
This
with
is-
Sam, and
this
I'm
is
walking
the
my
same
dog.
thing
Like,
my
gotta cut that
therapist told
off.
me. He was like, "Why can't you just tell them you gotta go?"
yeah.
I was like, "That's a good."
Or do you just
point.
do you feel bad if you say you gotta go?
It just feels too obvious. Like,
I used to feel bad for saying I had
yeah,
to go.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like well,
Yeah,
stop your talking.
I feel bad.
Let me out.
I don't want to know about the worms.
Let me out of here.
I don't want to know
Let
about your
me-
dog's worms.
Let me out.
Does this apply to you guys with kids? Do people want to like talk about what they're feeding their kids, or other things that you're like, you know what?
It happens to me a lot at hockey practice or like
Yeah.
at hockey games.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes us as moms or like other people like will come up to me and they'll start talking. And
Yeah.
then like you said, it does happen. Like they'll talk about different things. Like I'll bring up a topic and then I'm done talking about it.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to walk away and they're like, and then and I'm I'm like, oh,
That's me to Shannon.
I'm like, yeah, okay, like, sure. But then, it does happen to me.
Yeah.
It does happen. I feel like it happens as parents and that with their kids, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to flip the script.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, oh, I gotta go get the water bottle from my kid now.
My kid called me. I used to go through the same things with my mom. Or not with my mom, but I would have these feelings. I'd be like, Mom, like, this girl wanted to hang out with me. Like, why did she want to hang out with me? And she's like, maybe she wants to be your friend. Or maybe she thinks you're interesting. Or like, and I used to be like, but why? Like,
so what were your,
I had to change the way I thought about myself, where it was like, okay, I want to have these conversations with other people. Other people want to have conversations with me too.
That's
and
what
I
I'm
have
saying.
things to talk about that I think are interesting. So I had to learn how to put myself in different environments to where I could have the conversations I wanted. But I first had to figure out, what kind of conversations do I even want to have? Yeah.
I like that you brought that point up. Like you're saying, so people might approach you and talk about their golden retriever because they're not able to have a friend
Those
to ask them
conversations.
thousands of questions about their day or their dog.
Totally. Or maybe they do have a friend, but that friend is not
They're like
curious
you.
about them.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, that's kind
I
of
get that.
that's kind of sad.
So
right?
they go out in public.
He's
and
like, that's kind of sad.
like,
but I
go
feel like
in
we
public,
all,
like
that's
you
like,
have a golden retriever, I have a golden retriever. Let's talk.
Oh my God.
Let's do this.
But I'm sure you all experience that with
That's so funny.
With Parenthood,
having Parenthood.
And even the podcast, there's times where like there's certain people that I interact with and I don't know that they listen to the podcast necessarily until they like bring something up from the podcast or they ask me something. They're like, hey, can I ask you this because you guys talked about it on the podcast? So like I've gotten like a greater like influx of people asking questions.
Like what's
about
an example of that?
just parenting styles, parenting things, or like the other day on my Snapchat, it was like someone was asking how I dealt with like healing after leaving, you know, the boy's dad and their situation, and like how do I deal with it now? And it's you know, sometimes I don't want to talk about that. Like,
oh, they think because you talked about it on the
because
podcast.
I've talked about
you
it,
want to talk
that
about
I
it
want to
and-
talk about it all the time, and like it was actually nice because like I answered one of the questions because it was like, you know, shit's not a problem unless you make it a problem.
Yeah,
quoting
totally.
my dad.
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
I'm like, you know, I came home and I've been off to the races since. Like there's been no looking back. Like I don't need to go into this. Like I've already talked about it. I can leave it in the past. And then someone was like, you've already shared on the podcast, just send them the link. And I was like, I don't want to be that person though either, to be like, here, I've already said it, like here's the link. So it's like a weird line or boundary that I'm trying to figure out right now in terms of like, yes, I'm like open to answering and sharing, and like this has been a journey of like before like Cheyenne did the whole TV stuff, we were very private. So, and this has been like, a whole journey in terms of like opening up and being able to talk and like put our shit on the line, whether it's like good, bad, ugly, embarrassing.
You know what? I love that about you guys. I admire that because I think that's something that I've learned from you guys is like,
Oh, thanks.
just be yourself.
Yeah.
Be open. People will judge you. People will
Hell yeah.
say
They'll judge
mean
you for
stuff.
the greatness.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it
That was
doesn't
my-
matter. Yeah.
And not to you just you
It
do
is
you
what it
and you
is.
try to get better.
Yes.
And I've learned a lot from you guys in terms of parenthood, relationships, and just like being open. So
Well, thanks.
yeah.
Well, let's learn more about you. Tell us
Yes.
about your background and where you're from.
Life before podcasting and producing
Okay, sure.
podcasts.
All those things.
Well, so I grew up in Oklahoma and
Okay.
moved to California 9 years ago.
What
Right.
part of Oklahoma?
Kind of all over. I mean, I grew up by Tulsa
Okay.
and went to Oklahoma State and then moved to Oklahoma City and then came here. And then I toured as a guitar player for several years.
I think that is so
Yes.
freaking dope.
You know
Can
what's
you
crazy?
tell us the band name? Because you told us before and I went and
Yeah.
looked it up and I had like a whole...
There were several.
Several bands you
Several.
toured with.
Yeah, several.
okay.
Okay.
My first touring gig out here was with an artist named Tyrone Wells,
Okay.
and toured with him for several years, and then started touring with The Calling.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. So The Calling is like a band from the 2000s.
Yeah.
And a band that had like one major hit that everybody would recognize. They can go look up wherever you will go. And then when the pandemic hit.
As soon as I found out, I was like, wait, I've heard this before.
Pandemic hit, and
Early
I was actually in Europe touring when the pandemic hit.
Oh.
Came back, and then I was like, you know what? I kind of wanted to get into podcasting anyway. And I reached out to somebody who was working on a show. They were like a YouTube group, and started working on their show. And then one thing led to another, and I've been at Studio 71 for a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you were touring up until pretty recent then.
2020.
I didn't
So
put that together until now.
Me too. So how many years were you touring for? I don't know that calculation in my head.
6.
6 years? Wow.
7 maybe. 7.
And do you still play music till this day? Is that your passion?
No.
No. Why
You know,
not?
It's weird because that was my identity for a long time, but it does just kind of feel like a past version of me.
Interesting.
I don't ever even really think about it anymore. It's so weird.
Do you still have like a guitar at home?
I still have a guitar at home. It doesn't get played much. It's funny because, I've met sort of a new group of friends. I have a girlfriend that I've met in the last few years, and none of them really know that side of me, which is so weird.
Even your girlfriend doesn't know,
she knows about it.
Is
but
that
that's
like
not
a Trav Daddy side, or is and now it's just like I'm Travis?
Okay.
Yep. So here's
I have
Travis.
a question, Travis.
Ah,
Do you
that's
think
interesting.
if
Get juicy.
like a different crowd or vibe was around and was more like musically or creative, and I don't know if your current friends are or not, like creative, but you think if they had that more creative vibe that you might be more inspired to like
Bring out
play more, like, where it's not so much your identity, but it's just like, this is something that makes me feel good or something I enjoy, rather than like just I don't know how to say this, but like the guitarist.
I don't think so. I really do feel like it's just a past life. I mean, there's also
life.
when you're pursuing it as a career,
Yes.
it comes with a lot of challenges, and then at some point those challenges sort of become, I don't want to use this word really, but I don't, for lack of a better term, trauma. In terms of like you put so much into like whether it's time or emotion or energy or whatever, you put so much into something that just sort of is like,
It wears
spinning
on
your
you.
tires. And no, at this point I have no desire. I mean, I'll sit around the house and play,
Will you?
but not that often.
It's a rare moment.
Yeah.
Say, no,
So you
no
sing as
music
well.
lessons for the kids. No.
I'm not a great singer.
But you're
I'm
good.
okay. I'm okay.
Aw.
I
Cool.
I
What
need
got
to
you
see
into
this side.
music? Like, what led you into that life?
Hey, there she is.
We have our friend is
What
here.
Get on in here.
Don't make fun of how I'm walking.
Cheyenne has arrived.
Started with the trainer.
You look great, though.
You look bomb.
That said, I'm walking like this.
Like what?
It's honestly how I feel.
Honestly, I love when my legs are
love
sore.
it. Me too.
I don't.
That
feel
just
like
reminds
jelly?
me that I did something.
I feel like
Yeah,
Jello.
totally.
Yeah.
I feel like
It makes me
big-
feel productive.
I feel like a big tub of lard and
Okay.
Jell-O right
Go
now.
away.
We're
Stop with the
talking
negative
about,
thoughts, please.
How Travis has had 2 different lives. He's in his life of not touring anymore.
Like
How he
glasses.
just came into he toured for 6 years.
Okay.
And now he has a girlfriend, has a whole different group of friends.
Labrador.
And
Oh,
No one knows
so
that he
he has this
like,
whole life of tour life.
Right.
and-
I mean, even you guys, because
Yeah.
I knew you for over a year probably before you
partying?
even
Yeah, until you
knew
said
that I
that-
played guitar or anything.
And he was.
how old were you when you started?
Guitar?
Yeah.
Like 13.
And then how old were you when you got into like the band that you were touring with?
He's toured with 3.
I toured with several artists, but I guess like the most. I mean, I was like in my 30. I was like 30.
in
Oh,
your,
okay.
early 30s.
Yeah, I'm 38 now.
I was just about to say 38.
yeah.
Did you have like a party phase?
Okay, so I I guess it depends on how you define it.
Is tour life
When I think
party
like
phase?
party, I
Yeah.
think like drugs,
No.
rock and roll, sex, drinking.
tour life.
So
I'm like
I've
picturing
never-
this side of you just like raging in like tour life, being,
Longer
like,
hair.
crazy.
No. Never had a
Rock
party
on.
life if that's the definition.
Aw.
No, never
He's
had like
you
a drug
guys, stop.
phase. Here's my
You've
my
watched
party
too many
phase
movies.
was just that I always wanted to be having fun, and that didn't mean drugs. I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah, just you wanted.
I just was like out and about all the time, like meeting people, whatever.
So
and
you've always been social.
social,
On tour, are these local tours? Are these international tours?
mostly international.
So where have you been?
So,
What's your-
well,
where do-
I'll
where
tell
do-
you where I
where are
haven't
ya?
been. I haven't been to Africa.
Okay.
I haven't been to Australia,
Okay.
Oh, I want to go to
and that's
Australia.
kind of it.
So you've done
Wow.
Europe.
European.
You've done like the Asian.
Asia,
Done Asia and
So
Europe.
South.
North America,
And South
South
America.
America.
Yeah.
Wait, let's go back to this social life.
Okay, social
I still
life.
had more questions.
Can you
there.
take us out one night?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever
Go,
been like the loudest in the room,
No,
That's
not
a
really.
good question.
personality wise?
No.
Even when you were
On tour.
highest of highs?
I mean, in drunken moments, yes.
No, I'm not in drunk, but I mean just when you felt like your highest.
No, I mean,
life.
No, I've never been like, I want to be the center of attention.
Okay.
So you're
I never got
more
that
like
from you.
fly, not a fly on the wall, but you're just there socializing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even think about it, but I've never wanted to be the center of attention, but I'm also not like, I want to hide.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah.
How many?
I have an older brother and a younger sister.
So you're a middle child.
Middle child.
Do you have middle child syndrome like Zaina?
Probably. Remind me what that is.
You're kind of like forgotten about.
I've always been the black sheep.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah.
Definitely like I don't know if this makes sense to you guys, but I always felt like I'm the only one in my family like me, and they don't get it, and I'm just gonna go do my own thing.
Are you the more creative one in your family?
Yeah.
Okay. What does your
Okay.
brother do for work?
My brother's a nurse.
And what
Okay.
does your sister do?
My sister is a PE teacher and a
Why'd
mom
you
of three.
laugh? And a mom of three.
Yeah.
Dang,
she's a
how
mom
old
of
is
three.
she with this kid?
She's
She need to come on here.
Look,
The fact that
She
she's
needs to
got
hang
3
out with
kids
us.
to run after,
Come
Hey.
over.
and then she's
older than you guys.
PE.
How old is she?
Bless
she's
her.
36,
36.
Where does she live?
Okay.
Arkansas,
Wow.
Let's go
And where
there.
does your
Come on,
brother live?
sis.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. So he's back home.
Yeah.
He's home.
Yeah.
Your sister's in
Your
Arkansas.
parental units.
Yep.
Where are they?
They live in Oklahoma.
Are they still?
Wow.
Are they married? Are they
Yeah, they are.
grandparents?
None of my
Shari's
grandparents are
face.
alive.
Aw, wait, your parents are still married.
They
Were they high school
are.
sweethearts?
No, but pretty much college.
Do they have red hair?
My dad.
Do they?
I gotta show you this photo.
like trying to
Guys.
Do your
I did
siblings
Travis's
have red
parents.
hair?
I gotta
Does
show
anybody
you.
else? Is anybody else a ginger in your family?
Well, my brother is. I gotta show you this photo of my parents because they're very attractive. Like this is.
Attractive. I mean,
I want to see the fam.
I love this.
Look at my parents.
I like how Travis like.
Wait,
my parents are
you look like your dad.
Except he's really buff.
He is really buff. Wait, that is so insane. Hold on.
He's hot, right?
Travis's dad is hot.
He's giving like
Is this like? Was he a ref?
He
Why
is
is he into
real
yours?
buff.
this is giving home video right
Yes.
now. It's giving me
The home
sexy
video.
home video vibes. She's like I just got home, and he's like I'm. Come on, why are they
Some
dressed
weird
up
role
like
play.
this? This is some role play shit.
Yeah. Who knows why he was
I'm
dressed
Travis,
up?
your dad
They're
is fine
so
as fuck.
cute.
I know.
Wow.
Your
Who
dad
would've
is
known?
buff.
He's hot.
Yeah, he's
But
buff.
he's hot. He's a hottie.
I'm here for the farm.
Chad, what would your parents say if you FaceTimed then and it was a black girl?
I dated black girls that they've met.
And they're fine.
Yeah.
I'm putting you in Oklahoma on a farm
But they
with
don't say any,
overalls,
like-
and I made you guys like Amish at this point. Like,
Yeah. I know. I probably oversold it, but
that is what my thoughts are. But then you put out hot dad referee, and I'm like, that's not what I was picturing.
You're like, hold up, nope.
No.
I'm laughing at Travis saying, okay, I might have oversold it.
I might have yeah,
at the
you guys are
same
picturing like
time-
me wearing overalls growing up. No.
He said no. He said,
No.
look at me now. Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you guys looked at? I put up a really cute picture of Travis.
No, we
that,
jumped right into it. We need you.
I actually am gonna save for if you ever call me.
Oh, my
It will come
contact
up.
photo.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
If you ever call me.
I looked when I was on my way here, and some people were asking interesting questions.
Okay.
They're a little bit more podcast centered.
Let's hear
Okay.
them. I want to
So,
hear.
one of them was, who's the hardest to work with
I just saw that. That
Of
made
the
me
three
laugh.
of you?
of the three of us?
Okay.
Nobody get their
hardest
feelings
to-
hurt.
He said, okay.
Okay. The hardest to work with.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm trying to think of like, okay, Shannon's always on time.
Okay, that was a question. Who's the late one?
Shane is always on time.
It's one of you two,
Yeah.
one of the Floyds, but
She's a Davis now.
So technically it's her because she's the
Yeah.
only Floyd.
it's not Shannon. I'll say that.
I was on time the last episode, so you can't even say it was me.
I don't know who's the hardest to work with, but I think Shannon's the easiest.
What?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Have you heard her do ads? Come on, she has to be.
But if I say, hey, can we get ads today? Guess who's on it?
Okay, she can send the ads, but like,
Look at us both being
Yeah,
mad.
hey, look. Hey, do you want the truth or not?
Look at us both pissed off. And I said nobody get their feelings hurt.
All right.
Oh, fuck you, Shannon.
I can answer
Wait,
this question.
Here's what. No, they're not questions for you,
Who on the
Kyle.
podcast does
There's
he think is
not
the best
questions for
interviewer?
you.
It's
The
not-
questions are for you.
Okay, here we
Okay,
go.
here's a good one. Who does he thinks? Okay, I think what they're trying to say is, who do you think comes in with the most complaints every week? Who's complaining the most
these
on the podcast?
Guys, why are they trying to get me in trouble? Give me some positive questions.
I think this is great.
I think it's funny.
No, give me some
I
positive.
think it's
Okay,
great.
wait.
Tell us about us.
I
No,
think
no, no.
that
These questions are actually hilarious.
you're great.
Who's the late one? Who's his fave? Who's the hardest to work with? Who does he
Here's a
think?
positive one.
Has
Who's
the
the
most
best
complaints?
interviewer?
Oh, you are. Yeah.
Duh.
You have years of good training.
Positive one.
Oh, here's one. Who does he look forward to hearing every week? I like that one.
Look forward to hearing.
Yeah, like people's stories.
who do you
or
look
who
forward
do
to
you like to
hearing?
hear
Okay,
what's going on?
This is gonna sound like such a cop out, but truly, all of you.
Thank you.
Pick one. No.
Pick one.
Little one. We want to hear.
I'm a
Who
little
has the
too
best
competitive
stories?
for these questions, okay?
Say me.
Say it's just me. I want to win something. Shannon won something.
No,
I'm the best
okay.
interviewer.
Oh, I did.
I like the
Okay.
juicy questions.
I did. I'll take that back.
You
All
want
right.
some juicy questions?
No, I mean these are juicy. I like it.
We know Shannon is the easiest to work with.
Yep, probably.
Who's the hardest to work with?
Hardest to work with. None of you guys are hard to work with. Hey, I know you're trying to get dirt here. Look, there's no dirt to be dished.
Who was the late one? We already decided that's Kyle.
Okay, that's Kyle.
All right. Who is your favorite?
I love all of you
And
individually.
we love you.
In different ways.
This is like when you ask your parent,
Who has the most
who do you like
drama in
more,
their
me
life?
or
I'm
Kyle?
not gonna.
And
I'm
we're
not.
both like, we love you equally.
And I'm like, stir the pot.
I'm like,
Stir the pot.
just say it's me.
Stir the pot.
Just say it's
we
me.
know the answer.
It's
I'm
fine.
I'm not gonna play the. It's all like no matter how I answer, it's
so
it's
funny.
2 losses and a win. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play that game.
Who does he think complains the most?
Okay, this I do have an answer for, but it is multi-layered and
Okay, so we have to listen before we speak, everybody.
yes. It's gonna be one of the Floyds.
So you, I'm a
Okay,
Davis.
Davis, whatever.
It's you.
But listen,
Are you
I think
I'm a Davis.
I think Cheyenne complains more, like vocally, but it's 95% of the time like joking. She comes in with this like kind of like no, like today, I'm sore. You know, like that. Like it's not a like it's not an actual complaint, but it's like I'm sore.
So I'm sorry. So
I'm Shaq.
Yesterday, I started with a new trainer at the gym.
Yeah.
And at one point, he asked me to do something, and I think I did that. I think I made some weird noise, and I did it. He looks at me and he goes, "You just have really good energy. Your energy is just spilling out. It's so good."
Stop
and I was
it.
sitting there, and he just walked away and said, "Oh, he was being sarcastic." And then I was like, "That was pure sarcasm. You just
do.
basically
I don't
told
think it
me
was sarcastic.
My energy was terrible." And I
I don't think it was sarcastic.
Oh, it was so sarcastic because I swear he turned to me and looked and was like, "You gonna fix it?" And I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
It was great, but I
was
swear,
great.
I
You
agree.
have great energy, Cheyenne. This is true. You have a type of presence that when you enter a room, the moment gets more exciting.
I think so.
I was excited when you walked in.
I was excited to walk in,
Because I was like,
It's true. And
Cheyenne's going to come in with some good questions.
even though I can barely walk right now. But I agree with Travis's thing. I think that I'm very vocal with how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Complain is a sticky word,
But I complain.
yeah. But
I complain.
I complain.
We all do.
I think you complain, but your complaints are more like actual real life complaints.
Complaints, yeah.
Help! I need help.
Yeah.
Help! I'm drowning.
Kyle, here's the difference in attitude without
Okay.
like even saying a word. Here's Cheyenne, and here's Kyle.
I'm dead.
Travis, I'm gonna tell you a story really fast. Yesterday, I was so tired. I put Zach took Boz and Ryder to the Clipper game.
Oh, fun.
I put Boz's pants on backwards, and I didn't notice, and no one else noticed.
Oh.
But our good Snapchat aunties let us know. And that's
Nice.
those are my complaints where I'm like, I'm tired. I feel horrible because I put my kids' pants on backwards. Like,
Poor thing.
When you're wearing a diaper, does it really
That's
matter?
When you're wearing not a diaper.
This is the big kid.
Oh,
this is Boz.
okay.
It mattered.
It mattered.
He had the Nike tie on his butt.
They were like, we see the tag. We see the check
Not
mark.
Oh my God. He said you're wearing a diaper doesn't matter. It actually doesn't when you have the diaper on.
That's what I'm saying.
But
I like our,
When you
our
don't have
signs
a
of
diaper
complaints.
on, it
though.
does
I like
matter.
the difference of complaints.
That's so real. I emote, I feel.
You emote?
Emote.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
To
Express.
show or express your emotions,
Oh.
physically sometimes.
I've heard that I wear things on my face. Like I don't even have to say something. My face will tell.
I feel like I'm
Tell
the
it.
same way. I don't know how to hide things.
Yeah. What do you think your face tells things before you say it?
I don't know. I think people who know me know if I'm upset because I get a bit quiet. I don't know if they
You're
can see it on my
quiet.
face. Yeah, I try to cool
Emotioner.
off and then instead of working a situation up in my head, work myself out of it, feeling.
Is it the same in your relationship?
She can always tell if I'm upset.
But the way you handle being upset, do you cool off and then approach her?
Or you
So-
just stay quiet.
So my tendency is to stay quiet. I've learned that's a bad
Yeah.
tendency
I was gonna say, are we staying quiet to avoid
Yes.
or to okay?
to avoid. I mean, honestly, not always. Sometimes it's the ice out.
Yeah, I'm like, is it the avoid?
But with her, I don't do that.
Thinking about it.
And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back because I've had lots of years of doing that. I'm saying that because I've learned, first of all, she can handle whatever I'm throwing at her way, just to give her credit. And also, it's just, that doesn't lead to anything good when you box somebody out or whatever.
Go on silent mode.
So now if she asks me what is wrong, I have my own rule in my head that I will not ever say nothing.
I like that.
And if nothing actually is wrong, then I'll tell her sorry, I was being quiet. I was thinking about something, whatever.
You can express
Yeah.
that.
But
I
I'm not,
really
I'm not,
like that.
I'm not
I like
allowed
that.
myself to nothing. That's such a bad response.
Nothing's wrong.
Nothing.
As you're sitting there, with your
Well,
arms
'cause,
folded,
yeah,
and you're
and
really
that's
pissed.
annoying.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Your ears are hot.
Yeah.
Dang.
I will say this, my bad habits in relationships that I've had, because she's so gracious, I feel relieved of them. Like, I think I brought into the relationship an idea that, like, okay, I can't have this hard conversation because she's going to say, like, use it against me, or like say that, like, I should feel justified that I'm whatever. But after, like, trickling in a few of those and, like, feeling the response back, it's like I realized, oh, that's just, like, past baggage and traumas that I'm bringing into this. This is not how a healthy communication style is built. So anyway,
I like that you can
I don't want to
even
say I'm
like
perfect. I'm
talk
just giving
about
her
this
credit.
and articulate it.
Yeah.
that you can even say it or know what you brought in and know how you handle it with her is
That
great.
yeah, I mean that is the hardest thing for me in relationships, is not boxing somebody out, because I process internally, and that's not always great for the other person.
Right.
Not to say that I don't have my space. She gives me that, but that's been my flaw in relationships.
What's your high point in a relationship? What do you know that you do really well?
I feel like I'm very understanding, and I feel like I approach conflict fairly. So, like, I don't think anybody would say, you didn't give me a chance, you didn't hear me out, you didn't try to understand what I was saying. Like, I think I'm good at that.
Do you know your love language?
Yes, remind me of them.
So physical touch, gifts, affirmations.
Acts of service.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely physical touch and quality time. And I would say those are my first two, and then
Do you know
maybe
hers?
like words of affirmation.
Or do you have an idea of what hers are?
Yeah, hers are, we do have some overlapping ones. I mean, also, I don't know, like, in all of my relationships, not just romantic, but, like, they manifest differently in terms of, like, love language. I mean, some people I love to spend quality time with. Some people I just like to acts of service or whatever. But, like, with her, I think quality time is probably our love language. Which maybe it's different. Like, my interpretation of quality time is a little different.
What is your interpretation?
I like to have fun and, like, do goofy things, and she likes to have, like, conversations about what's going on.
You're like, let's do things.
Yeah,
Let's
Talk while we do this.
what kind of goofy things do you like to do? Like,
so like, okay,
fun
so
dates?
it's fun dates.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, for me, I feel most open with people and, like, best with people if we are having fun or laughing. Like, that to me is vulnerability. So it's so funny because I've learned this in previous relationships, but, like, my definition of vulnerability is not, I guess, what most people's is, because most people is like, people would get upset with me that I'm not, like, sharing something, like, real personal or, like, a hard point in my life. I'm like, that's not vulnerability to me. Like, I don't feel close. I will tell you these things, but I don't feel closer to you because of it.
No,
For
that
me,
sounds like we're gonna trauma bond, if that's what you want to know.
Well, yeah. For me, like, I think I have this specific memory of, like, sort of when I was first dating Alana, my current girlfriend, where we just, like, went outside her apartment and we're playing catch with a tennis ball. And to me, that was, like, such bonding quality time. And, like, it's vulnerable because, like, this is, like, I'm being a kid, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
a kid with you, yeah.
Yeah, for me, that's, like, what's...
I really like that example.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah. And it's, I think about, it makes me think about, like, my own relationship and, like, what are the times that we are the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I would say it's not when you're sharing a story that's really sad and then we cry and then he cries and it's like, oh, we're so connected.
Yeah.
Like, that's not it.
It's like doing...
But we've shot a few shows together. Like, we shoot Teen Mom together, everybody knows that. But we also shoot another show, Teen Mom Family Reunion, where we don't have any electronics for the weeks that we're shooting. So there's no TV, there's no phone, we have our phone, but we're not supposed to be on our phone. And we follow the rules. Zach and I keep our phone in the room. We go out and we participate in the games and whatever it is. And those weeks that we're there, we always come back and talk about those are our most vulnerable times that we've had together, because all these outside distractions are gone, and all we have is each other. So it's like the times when, like you said, you guys were outside playing a tennis ball. We were outside kicking a soccer ball back and forth and just talking. And I feel like that was it sticks out. Like the same way it
totally
sticks out.
And I don't know if it's because it's like our core early memories, but the times that I feel most like a kid are my like, this is where I feel most like me and most vulnerable. So, I mean, I'm ridiculous around her, right? Like that.
I love that.
I love that.
To be able to be that.
To be yourself.
Is vulnerable.
It is.
So if you had no limitations, with just no limitations, you could take it however you want, and someone gave you an opportunity to plan a date, you have no limitations, you can do whatever it is, how are you going to approach it?
Okay. This is interesting because, and this is a difference between me and a lot of people probably, but especially my girlfriend, because she loves doing big things, right? She wants to buy expensive concert tickets to Coldplay or whoever. And I like that. I'm not saying I don't. But for me, I feel like sneaking into buildings, like that kind of weird shit is like so exciting. So how would I plan a date? I'd have to think about it, to be honest. I don't know that I could rattle it off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I think like it would involve probably skinny dipping in the ocean at midnight, something like that. Something. I mean, these things don't even cost money.
I was about to say, you have no limitations, and we're getting in the water for free.
I know.
You like to be spontaneous with your dates.
We can orchestrate a concert for you so you can sneak in.
If the limitation is that I'm not going to get in trouble, then I'll do some wild stuff. I mean, if you give me no limitations, I will take a helicopter somewhere or take a plane ride to, the Bahamas or do something wild. But
and then get in the water naked.
Yes. And it'll be a little warmer.
Hey, I want to take you skinny dipping.
Let's go get in a plane.
In Nassau.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, so ask me again and I'll pitch it to
you. No.
Oh, what would I do on an ideal date?
He said,
I would.
Travis,
I would buy a plane ticket to Bermuda and go skinny dipping at midnight.
I fuck with that answer.
Why midnight?
I'm just saying when it's dark.
It's a 2-day date.
Do you think if someone approached her with the same question, how do you think she would answer?
She would probably involve flying somewhere as well, but it would involve like a high dollar, like fancy something.
Where's she want to go?
We're on the best plane.
High dollar fancy
something. Coldplay's gonna meet us when we land. They're gonna be serenading us as we get off the plane.
Yeah.
The plane.
This is good, yeah.
I have a dinner on the strip.
Come on, no limitations. What? I'm going nuts. Somebody said no limitations. You guys can do whatever the fuck you want for one day. Come on.
We're doing everything.
We're doing everything. We're going to do it on the plane, too.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Nice. In the bathroom on here.
Have you done it?
On the plane, no, I have not.
Okay.
Have you?
Have you?
No, I have not. But it sounds fun. Kyle, have you?
No.
Kyle
doesn't look like she has.
I have
She was sitting there like, bitches,
I'm going to say, if you've done it, you're pretty tall. Like, I'm trying to imagine
that does not
the
seem
person
fun. It would
that you
have
would
to
done
be
it with.
Private. I'd have to do it on a private plane,
Private
or
jet.
we'd need like
I would
our
do
own
it-
little cubicle. Like we're flying first class.
The one time I did
Emirates.
fly on a private jet, Zach definitely was tapping me.
Yeah.
But all our friends were also on the jet, and it was just from LA to Vegas. So it was like
Not enough time.
No, there's not enough time. And if you've ever fly private, going to Vegas has to be the worst flying private experience because the turbulence is
Over
so bad.
Oh, really?
So towards the last 15 minutes, you're just praying for your life. Like, I couldn't even
thank you.
attempt to do
Really?
anybody in that moment. You're just holding on, just trying to make sure you're going to land.
That
So
sounds horrible.
Yikes.
it wasn't the
does
best
sound
experience.
horrible.
But I have seen those like TikToks, Instagram reels where it shows like the private cubicles on like certain flights, like Dubai flights that I see, or like
That sounds
Emirates, and
fun.
it's like a bed.
Oh, I thought you were
And you
going to
could
say
have
4
sexy
SEs.
time?
It's
Well,
like a
I
full
mean,
bedroom.
it's a full bedroom.
It's a full room.
But it's
So
on
you
a
can do what you want.
plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like their first
That's
class.
cool.
And to me, if there's a
They
bed
cost
in a door,
so much
Let's
money.
do it. Let's come on.
they give you pajamas to change into.
Eye mask, slippers, all the.
Somebody's doing it on that bed. Travis, do you know how we end the podcast every week with the WTF or a summary or story or advice? What just happened? Do you have anything for us?
My WTF is inflation. That's all.
Okay.
Period.
Enough
One
said.
word. Inflation. That's all.
She said.
Shannon, do you have one?
Actually, I do have advice. I would say I've been struggling with overthinking and imposter syndrome for like the last couple of days. And I would just give advice as just be nice to yourself and just remind yourself of who the fuck you are. Like, I just having to remind myself like who I am and like sit back and just like take it slow day by day. But I just been struggling with that and just remind everybody to just take your time and don't be too hard on yourself.
Give yourself
So,
grace.
Give yourself grace.
Like it?
So
Yeah.
giving myself advice as well this week.
WTF. I don't have a WTF. I had a really long week though. I think I've gone to 4 different doctors this week for myself, 6 different doctors for Ryder.
Damn.
It's been a long week of just medical stuff. Everybody's fine, but it's like Ryder's yearly period right now of like checking on her metabolic condition. So she had to do blood work. She had to do heart echoes. She had to meet with this nutritionist. And it was just, I was dreading every single appointment. She had another appointment today, and I woke up and was like, let's tackle it differently. Like, let's not go in with such like negativity or like
Heavy
another
heart,
like another one. And I think that with that, my energy was a lot better and Ryder's energy was a lot better.
I like that. Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, I wish I would have done that 3 days ago or started that 3 days ago. But I think it's just
You're
been
human.
Yeah, it's been a long week. And my other half of advice would be to listen to your body. The past 2 weeks my neck has been bothering me. I have an enlarged thyroid. It runs in my family. My mom has had hers removed. My grandma had hers removed.
Yikes.
My great-grandmas both have theirs removed. So I'm just waiting, because for somebody to take mine out.
Wait, how do they remove it?
You get your neck cut right here.
Get out of here.
Well, my aunt, hers was so enlarged, it was like a goiter and it went down. So she had to have her chest cracked to take hers out. But mine was so uncomfortable today. It was so swollen, so inflamed, and I started to touch it and feel it. And I found a lump. It's like a marble-sized lump. And I was like, okay, am I going crazy? And I start like feeling my neck. I'm like touching Zach's neck. I'm touching everybody's neck trying to see, why does my neck feel like this? Is this thing supposed to be here? And I was going crazy trying to figure it out. So I called the doctor. I asked to come in, and they said, well, we can't see to the end of February. And at first I accepted that answer. And that night I just felt like I need to call back because I feel like there's something wrong with me. So I called back, I explained all of my symptoms in detail, and they're like, actually you can come tomorrow. So I've been going through labs and ultrasounds and just a bunch of shit this week. My blood pressure's high, so I have to go see another doctor for that. So I say all that to say to listen to your body. And when you're going through things like this, to try to approach it in a different way, because sometimes even if you're not sick, you make yourself sick with how you're thinking about
Worry
things.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I like what you said a lot because it just
It resonated
reassured
with
me
you, yeah.
to give myself grace right now.
Yeah. I think that what you're saying, I feel like it goes in hand in hand a little bit because you have to give yourself grace because you will make yourself sick with with me overthinking. I've been making
It's too much.
It's too much. So I've actually shut off Instagram for a minute.
Good.
That's a good
Sometimes you
feeling.
need to.
Yeah.
I've been off IG for months,
Yeah.
maybe a year. I don't know.
Wow.
That's crazy.
A long time.
Travis, I'm really sad that I missed the first half of your life story. and I can't wait to tune in to listen to
Okay.
it. But thanks for coming on. I know it was short notice.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I know that people are going to still have a million questions for you after this. So
Okay, bring
God
it on.
is good.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.